Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another session of Sade Sati of Saturn. What is Sade Sati of the Saturn and how does it trigger in your horoscope, in your birth chart? So let me explain you that how Sade Sati you can check in your horoscope. The first thing you have to see in your birth chart is if you look at this example, that this is Aries Ascendant and Moon is placed in the first house. Whenever Saturn will transit in the sign before the Moon sign, that is Pisces, then you can say that this horoscope has got Sade Sati started. After 2.5 years, when Saturn will transit into the next sign, which is Aries, that is the middle phase of Sade Sati, and normally it is said that whenever Saturn transit over the Moon in the during the middle phase of Sade Sati, that always bring the bad results in the life, and there are lots of ups and downs. And wherever Saturn is aspecting like 3rd, 10th, 3rd, 7th and 10th houses, it gives lots of miseries pertaining to those houses and the nakshatra it is sitting into. After 2.5 years, when Saturn transits into the next zodiac sign, which is Taurus, that is the last phase of Sade Sati, and if you count all three of them from Pisces, Aries and Taurus, you can tell that 7.5 years of phase of Sade Sati has completed. Now there are so many misconceptions about that. Most of the people, they get so scared as soon as their first phase of even Sade Sati is scared. I want to tell you something, that Saturn cannot only rule your horoscope. There are 8 other planets as well. So Saturn doesn't have the capability of dominating all other planets and giving you the results on behalf of other planets as well. Other planets play as important role as Saturn play in our horoscope as well. One thing you should remember is that suppose that this is Saturn has entered into the Leo where the Moon is placed, and this person is going through the middle phase of Sade Sati. So that doesn't mean that those 2.5 years will be totally spoiled and he's going to have lots of problems. No. The example is that suppose the Moon here is of 18 degrees. This is very important to check that what is the degree of Moon in your birth chart. Suppose here the Moon is 18 degree. Whenever Saturn will transit into that zodiac sign, it is not the straight way it will give you the ill effects. You have to see the degrees. Say if Saturn is 2 degrees and Moon is of 18 degrees, you have to see that the closer the Saturn will move towards the Moon, it will give the malefic results. But the condition is, you have to see that in what condition your Moon is placed in your birth horoscope and your Saturn is placed as well. Say that if Saturn is near 10 degree and Moon is over 18 degree, the closer these planets will go each other, the more dreadful results you will experience during the Sade Sati. So it is not as if Saturn has just entered and you will get the bad results. You have to see the degrees. These two planets should be close enough, like 6 degrees or 10 degrees, to give the benefic or the malefic results during the Sade Sati. So you have to see this. This point is very important to check the degrees of Saturn, the time of transit, and look at the degrees of Moon in your chart as well. That is very important to see. Now it is not always that mid phase of Sade Sati brings lots of difficulties in your life. I've seen lots of horoscopes wherein a person going through Sade Sati for complete 7.5 years, they received very good results. Even during the mid phase as well, they got very good results, Now let me give you some other examples as well, where I've seen the horoscopes of different people wherein they experience very good results, and I will show you the horoscopes of people wherein they got the bad results as well, and I'll try to explain you as well. Now look at this chart. As per this chart, this is a Libra born, and Moon is placed in the first house. So when this person was going through the Sade Sati, and especially the middle phase of Sade Sati, this person expected a very good results. Even though moon is not that good placed, it's okay. Even in the D9 chart, its condition is not that good. But even though this person got very good results, what was the reason for that? Well, the reason was that during that phase, he was having a Mahadasha of Sun and Antardasha of Jupiter. And look at the placement of Jupiter. It's in the 10th house and Jupiter is well placed. And another thing you have to notice is during that 2.5 years, if you're really scared of sade sati and it is bothering you, check the Mahadasha and Antardasha during that time frame. If the planets are benefiting in your horoscope, then there is no chance, no matter how close the conjunction of Moon and Saturn is during the sade sati, it will not give you the ill effects. In this case, the Jupiter placed in the Mars nakshatra, Mars constellation sign. I say again and again in my videos that constellation signs, nakshatra plays a very important role in predictions. Now in this case, during his Antardasha, he experienced very good results. His business was very fruitful. He got married. He was he went as well, wherein he got lots of benefit as well. So overall, the overall period during that phase was very good, and he made so much property and everything else. You know, for that you have to see that, like in this case, you can see Jupiter is placed in the 10th house, and Mars is placed in the 4th house, and so he experienced lots of good results during that phase. So for him, sade sati was very fruitful, even though that Saturn in this house is not well placed, it's debilitated. Now look at the another chart. This is a Cancer ascendant, and during sade sati, the moon is placed in the 3rd house. During sade sati, this person also expected very good results. He was going through the Jupiter Mahadasha, and Antardasha was of Mars. If you look at this chart, and Mars is well placed in the 7th house, and he expected very good results during that sade sati. And when this person came for consultation, he been to another astrologer as well, wherein if you can see that again in this horoscope as well, Saturn is debilitated. So what I'm trying to tell you, if Saturn is debilitated, doesn't mean that mid phase of your sade sati will be very dreadful, very dangerous. No, it is not like that. You have to see that what Mahadasha, Antardasha, which constellation sign Antardasha Lord is sitting, what is the position of sub-lord in your horoscope, and what is the position of transit of other planets as well. That's why I'm saying that Saturn not only rules your planet, rule your horoscope, there are other planets as well. So this is how basically you judge. This is initial things which I've told you that you have to see before determining, before getting worried about the mid phase of sade sati. Now look at another chart. You know, in this chart, this is Pisces ascendant, and moon is placed in the 4th house. So when this person was going through the sade sati, he had a very troubled time. It is not because of sade sati, there was another reason for that, and the reason was Jupiter Mahadasha and Sun Antardasha was going on, and Sun in this place is badly placed in 8th house and is debilitated, and Sun here is in constellation sign of Saturn, and Saturn is again in the 5th house. So overall this period was not good for him. So if you go to an astrologer who don't know much about the astrology, he's gonna say he's going through a sade sati, and without looking at the other aspects of the planets and which constellation sign it is sitting into it and what degree other planets are sitting as well, they're just going to make prediction and gonna make the people fool just to make more money. So during that phase, this person expected lots of bad results, not because of Saturn sade sati, but because of this Antardasha of Sun as well, because it was badly placed. Now before when you look at this, you know, you have to look at the D9 chart as well, because D9 chart gives a lot of idea wherein you can get more pure prediction as well. Now look at another chart. Now in this one, the Taurus ascendant, and the moon is placed in the fourth house in Leo. So during that phase of sade sati, when he was going through the middle phase of sade sati, he experienced very bad results. So again, it was not because of sade sati, it was the position of Jupiter, because he was going through the Rahu under Jupiter Antardasha, and Jupiter in this horoscope is placed in the 6th house, which is not really favorable. And Jupiter was in the constellation sign of Sun, and Sun is again placed in the 6th house. So overall, this was very bad period for this person, as he had problem in his marriage, problem in his career. There were so many ups and downs in his life. And when he approached to the astrologer, he was told that all these things are happening because of Saturn sade sati, and he should do this remedy, and they just rip him off, you know. So all I'm trying to tell you is that it is not only Saturn which bring lots of ups and downs in your life when sade sati is going on. There are other planets as well, and astrologers, while predicting this, majority of astrologers I have seen that they just ignore that, they just neglect that, you know. You cannot predict the events of 7.5 years of Saturn transit only because you do not want to look other angles of planets placed in your horoscope. Now another thing is that Saturn, let's talk about Saturn a bit. What is Saturn? Saturn is a planet of discipline. Saturn loves discipline. If you think that you are going through the middle phase of sade sati, or the sade sati had just begun, and I understand, as we all know, that Saturn is a planet which love discipline. So what you should do is, not even during the sade sati, but that we should be doing this throughout our life, especially when we are going through the sade sati or the middle phase, that try to be honest with you, try to do things honestly. This is what Saturn loves, you know. Saturn loves those who show honesty all the time, and if you do that, you will be favorable to Saturn, and Saturn will give you favorable results instead of giving the malefic results. Suppose you're standing in the queue, and instead you jumping into the queue so that your turn will come in first, especially on the railway platform to get tickets. Don't do that. Just try to be honest with you every minute, every hour of the day. There are so many instances happens in our life wherein we try to cheat, and we know where we are cheating. So don't do that. If you don't do that during that phase of sade sati, you will get a marvelous, excellent results without doing any remedies. That is the best remedy during the sade sati, that if you're honest, you show your honesty, and you work with dignity, you work with the diligence, you expect very good results during the sade sati of Saturn. And when people come to me with the sade sati, and they've been to other astrologers, and they say, oh, we done this remedy, we done that remedy, but so far we are not getting good results, the only question and only remedy I normally tell them is that try to be honest with you, try to work honestly whatever you do. Saturn do not like backlog. Saturn wants things to be done on time and make you disciplined like a proper soldier. So this was my small analysis on Saturn sade sati. So only thing I want to tell you is that there is nothing to scared of 7.5 years of sade sati, especially the mid phase. And look at your horoscope, analyze it properly, then jump on to some conclusions rather than reading on the websites and watching on the channels which are the medium of making money these days. So just try to be practical. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was my small analysis on sade sati for 7.5 years. Thank you very much.